Hey y'all, it's your captain for All Things Creative coming at you with Real Housewives of New Jersey Season 14 Episode 3 review. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're returning, let's get into this episode. Now, first we see all the couples at different places in the Jersey Shore and beyond. And we see Bill Aydin and Jen together. So I had to take back my words. It seems like there's no trouble in paradise. And actually quite the opposite, because Bill actually stands up for Jen in the first big scene of the episode. So there's a scene with breakfast with the Fudas, and they're pressing Fessler about what she said to Teresa. And it was interesting because we see that all the muffins and stuff is in front of Danielle, but in front of Fessler, there's only a red Solo cup, so it looks like they didn't feed her, or they didn't want to feed her, which is a little funny. But basically, Fessler explains how Teresa asked her what she meant about not sticking to the plan, and she explained how she didn't say anything about, a plan, but, said what she said. And then Marge and Rachel, they're on a team trying to get minions together, but Fuda don't know that she's a minion herself. But basically, in her confessional, Rachel Fuda says that Fessler was stupid for explaining herself to Teresa, and it is followed by a scene with Jen and her family plus Dolores and Paul. So basically, Jen explains her relationship with Melissa to Dolores a little bit, but she basically notices that she doesn't have a reciprocal friendship with Melissa, and then they show a whole reel of scenes that seem a little more one-sided, of like Jen apologizing to Melissa and trying to get back in her good graces. But if you know anything about BravoCon and like the kind of tweets and TikTok around it, apparently Joe and Melissa got into it with Jen Aydin at BravoCon, and I'll show you a little clip here of kind of the background info, because I guess production is not allowing them to talk about it since like drinks were thrown and there was violence and whatnot. So here's the clip, and then let's get back into the episode.
What's BravoCon without a little bit of Housewives drama? Okay, so yesterday I posted on my IG stories, there was a video that surfaced on Twitter where Jennifer Aydin was back at her hotel in the lobby area. Joe and Melissa were also in the lobby area, and it seemed like there was an altercation because all we could see from the video was Jennifer chucking her drink, which actually landed more on the security guy than who she was aiming it for, but nonetheless, this is the video. Now, a lot of people assumed that Jennifer was the one that was starting problems. And from the angle, we don't really have a lot of context other than we know that she threw the drink at Melissa Gorga's assistant, but we didn't really know why until now. So it looks like her social media manager, Erica Madeline, I have her tagged below, has the full play-by-play with receipts that show that basically Melissa and Joe were heckling her and calling her names as she was trying to go up to her hotel room. It's when the assistant tried to get in her face that she threw the drink.
So clearly, there's more drama to their falling out than we even know. But it's nice that Bill had Jen's back, right? You see that they cut to see Melissa's side of the story a little bit, even though she doesn't really say much either. And Melissa tells Marge that she tried to be friends with Jen Aydin, but Melissa says that Jen Aydin tends to get in the middle of her family drama and is blindly loyal to Teresa, and that she was most upset with Jen for spreading the cheating rumor about her to Danielle. Then you're going to see Joe Gorga calling Bill to try to, get both of them at the party by, weaseling his way into Bill's heart, calling him Turkish Tom or something. I don't remember what he said, but Bill wasn't having it. And he basically tells him, y'all know that, Melissa and Jen are on good terms, so happy birthday, but it's not gonna go how you think it's gonna go. And I was proud of Bill for, sticking with Jen, because that was a problem that he had with her before, but it seems like the therapy is working. They're on the same page, and that's why you don't see him fool along with the men as much anymore, because he chose his wife's side, and he gonna stick beside her. And Dolores does try to be neutral in the situation, try to explain, well, hey, this is their way of extending an olive branch, but Jen Aydin says that now the Gorgas be trying to control how things need to go, and they're tired of it. They're not with their program anymore. And I'm just glad that these two have each other's back. And next is a very touching scene on Teresa and her daughters, because Gabriella's packing for college and the movers are coming that day, so they called Joe Judice. And everybody crying. Gia crying, Teresa crying, Joe crying, Gabrielle crying, And I was crying too, since we've seen these kids grow up on TV. And again, I just kept thinking about the difference between Gabriella's going away and Antonia's going away, because at that party that they threw for Antonia, they made it less so about Antonia and made it more about their own family drama with Teresa by having, Joe cry, Melissa cry, dry, fake tears. And then they talked about him officiating someone else's wedding. So Antonia didn't really get the shine that Gabriella is getting, and it just goes to show that Teresa's family seems to have a lot more heart. Whereas the Gorgas, it does seem like, they're trying to their best to manufacture drama, but there's a time and place for everything, because again, the emotions shine through because we grew up with Gabriella, so they can just be in that. They don't have to try to, sneak other family members and plot line into her going away scene. But Gabriella talks about she take an economics class and then also major in finance and handle people money. And that plus Gia focusing on law and immigration law in particular. You can see just how much these girls have seen what their parents have gone through and are letting all their setbacks be their set up and kind of turn their lemons into lemonade by taking academic interest in the things that plague their family. So it's really cool to see the girls come into their own and try to break, negative cycles, or at least learn how to start good cycles themselves, right? And again, I don't even know what Antonia's majoring in, since the Gorgas hijacked her going away scenes about their own drama. But shout out to Teresa and her daughters, for really just loving on each other and loving on Gabriella. So then after Gabriella talks about finance and economics and whatnot, that musty producer's going to ask Teresa if Joe's helping to pay for the girls' college bills. And Teresa says no, because he's trying to get his life together in the Bahamas. And then Teresa says she's thankful she can afford to pay for them herself. And then that messy producers ask if Louie's going to help pay for college, and Teresa says yes. So the movers come, and then everybody splits up. The siblings go and do something related to balloons with Gabriella, and then Teresa and Louis have a scene that took me out. Oh man, so Teresa's gonna go try to be a little nice, nasty about the whole exchange with the Fudas, and them seeing each other again at Danielle's party. And then Teresa asked Louis if the Fudas had bothered him down to Danielle's husband homegoing service slash celebration of life. That was just a happy he's here party, but it sounded like a funeral the way they did it. But then he said no, they didn't bother him. And then Teresa starts kind of nice, nasty, running down on the Fudas, saying, if he was such a good dad, like how everybody see him as now, why he bringing these fake vanilla envelopes and whatnot to the reunion? And then Louis gonna, go from nice, nasty to just going to hell when he says to Teresa that, that night he actually got a second to get a good look at John Fuda and saw how John is a ugly mama jamma, and I hollered because Louis did not have to eat John Fuda up like that. Especially since I was taught, that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I even had a little song that I was raised with. It said, everybody's beautiful in their own way, like a starry summer night, a snow-covered winter's day. And everything is beautiful in its own way. Right? But Louis was not saying that. He could not. And all jokes aside, Louis had a good episode because even though the jury's still out on whether people can completely trust him with Teresa, he earned points this episode for me by being so chill when Joe Giudice was on the phone, calling him brother. And it seems like the blended family is really blending well. And then there's that seed I just talked about with him and Teresa. Starting off nice, nasty, and then running down on John Fuda. And Louis low-key kind of ate because I'm so sorry, but he kind of didn't lie. And it was some comedic relief after all the crying with Gabriella for sure. So then you see people getting ready for Joe Gore's party. And then Rachel Fuda admits that she bought him the cheap-looking sex doll that we're going to see them doing shots out of. They're going to gift Joe Gorga, and she got it on Amazon. And then she also says she's still freaking out about her husband being called a drug dealer, even though last week she admitted that he was actually slinging dope in the past. Some people started arriving, and Melissa's mom looked like she had a drink too many, and that she was holding her broken hand and dancing like she was already gone. And then Melissa asked her if she took pain medicine, and she denied it. But let me find out people are mixing medicine and alcohol, because that is a quick way to black out and be in health trouble. So then at the party, Joe's gifted the blow-up doll. And then he makes a joke with Melissa about how his junk isn't small. And then Jackie kind of complains about being left out from the party that Danielle threw. I guess she forgot how mean she was to Danielle last season. But then Dolores arrives and loves on Joe's and Melissa's kids. The men make up with Paulie and Frank asking Fuda if he really did use a double-sided dildo. And then Margaret tells Rachel Fuda that Joe invited Bill, but he declined. And then she tells Fuda that she wants to talk to Fessler and asks Rachel if she also is annoyed at Fessler. So then they cut to Teresa and her family having a celebration dinner for Gabriella. And again, they make it all about Gabriella, and they have flashbacks about them. So then Melania makes a nice speech about how Gabriella is such a good role model. And it's very heartwarming since Teresa said the two of them used to fight, but now they're close. And Teresa really could have her own show with her daughters, but I think she deserves to stay on New Jersey because, again, she got the heart. And even when she's not around, these girls are talking about her, which we'll see soon, right? You also see a scene of Jen and her daughters also paying dust to the Gorga / anti-Teresa gang. And it does seem like Jen's being phased out. And word on the street is that Jennifer and Danielle got suspended for getting into an altercation, which could be the season finale or mid-season finale. And also, Jen Aydin got exposed for paying for gifts for bloggers and giving too much season information and maybe screeners to bloggers. So now the whole Jersey cast is punished, and they have to watch the show as it airs with the public on Sundays since they're unable to get their hands on advanced copies of the show from Bravo, allegedly thanks to Jen. We're back at Melissa and them party, and Frank says he's getting engaged, and then makes a dig that he didn't think he would get engaged before Dolores because Paul dragging his feet. Margaret then confronts Fessler, and Jackie jumps in and, shows that she sees eye to eye with Fessler about the whole talking to Teresa scandal, right? So Marge was basically, coming at Fessler and telling her like why she didn't tell Teresa that she'd be talking bad about Louis too. And then Fessler was like, I'm not gonna say that stuff to her. Like, we were trying to get understanding, and obviously you won't want me to say things the way you want, your side or team, to come across, but I have my own mind, right? And it was beautiful seeing these two defectors from the anti-Teresa gang join the Teresa gang in a way, because they had each other's back at the right time. And Fessler said it best when she told Marge and Fuda that she's not their soldier, point blank, period. And then Fuda gonna use her tears to say she not gonna tell Fessler who to be friends with, but she's hurting her. And I was like, girl, if you crying over this, I cannot believe your tears ever. Your tears cannot be trusted. These are tears that clearly get weaponized and deployed whenever you don't get your way, because this is nothing to cry about. Especially if she got that stuff going on with her child's tongue tie, and then she got Fuda going to jail, being an ex-drug dealer, all that stuff. This is the least of the things she should be crying about. But Fuda basically storms out, and Marge follows after her while saying that, Fessler was friends with them longer, so she shouldn't betray them like this. But literally, it was like a 5-minute conversation, so they look silly. Literally, two are heated over like a 5-minute conversation. And it's so sad to see grown people act this way. And then continue to see Jackie and Fessler sit like the queens that they are, just holding each other down, enjoying the party, while Rachel Fuda's crying in the bathroom to Marge and Danielle. And then when Danielle was talking about Fessler not knowing how to show loyalty, was rich to me, considering how she's constantly playing both sides of the fence and find herself in the middle of beef. And she's beefing with her own family. Danielle had an Us Weekly article explaining her family drama. She says she blocked her brother on Instagram. And, she also did not go to his wedding. She's also beefing with her dad for the incident where she gave her brother a gift for their child that was just born, and then the brother sent it back, and she didn't like how her dad handled it. At the end of the day, I got much bigger fish to fry than worrying about this little 5-minute conversation between Fessler and Teresa. She gotta fix her family drama. And then you see Joe making a confessional about how hard it is to deal with Antonia going to college, since it's his first child, and a girl at that. And he says something that's a little sexist about why couldn't his first person go to college be a boy. But that's problematic, since men and women can be equally in danger in these streets, which is shown beautifully in the Netflix show Baby Reindeer, so it is what it is. So say what you thought about the episode, like, share, and subscribe, and remember, you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye!